Hello everyone, my name is Jamin. Thanks so much for visiting my channel. In this video, I have a Dell Vostro 14. This is going to apply to the 3400 series of models. I'm going to show you how to get inside, access your heatsink, your fan assembly, and your CPU. So first thing, power down your computer the correct way. Make sure it's off and unplugged from your charger. We're then going to flip your computer over to access your bottom case screws. The screws noted with the red arrows, these screws will actually come out and you can set them off to the side. The screws here with the green arrows, these screws actually stay in the bottom case. You can't actually pull those out. Just keep that in mind when you're going at these screws. After you address all these screws, we're going to flip the computer over. Now we're facing our palm rest, and we're going to take a small flat pry tool. We're going to start here near where those green screws were, and we're going to start in the corner and pry that seam. Right in that seam, pry the palm rest up from the bottom case. If you get stuck somewhere, leave it. Go to the other side, continue in the other direction. Try not to put the pry tool too far in. You could damage some internal components. Just keep it on the edge. Go slow and firm, but careful. And once you pry all that up, we're going to flip the computer back over, and we're going to grab it from this side. Again, these green screws where the screws are still in, that's where we're going to go at it. So we're going to grab it from there, gently try to pry this bottom case off, go up here, all along the left side of my screen, and be very careful to take this side up and not the right side yet. If you do, you're going to break something. So take the left side up, and then when you get this side up, just grab the whole bottom case and slide it to the right a little bit. Your VGA port here, your USB port, this bottom case goes around it, as you can see in your computer. So if you just rip this thing off, you may damage these ports, or at the very least, you'll break that little skinny part of the bottom case. But if you slide the bottom case to the right, then you'll be able to take it off. After removing your bottom case, this is what you're looking at for the inside of your computer. So I'm just going to flip it around. Now, as a general computer repair side note, everyone, when I'm working on a computer in my shop, it's sitting on an anti-static mat. Either that or an anti-static bracelet are great ideas to avoid damaging anything in your computer when you're working on it. If you would like any help with tools or supplies for your project, there'll be a link below in the description. It'll show you many of the tools and supplies that I use in my shop for my repairs. Underneath that link in the description, there will be one more link. It'll have a list of all the replacement and upgrade parts for this specific model computer, just to make it easy for you to find those. Now, before I touch anything in a computer, I always remove or at least unplug my battery. A computer is safest to work on when as little power as possible is running through it. So here's your battery right down here. There's 4 screws holding the battery down. And then the battery plugs in right here by means of this black cable into the motherboard. So after unplugging the battery here, you can take it out a little bit, and then you'll have some wiggle room to grab it here right next to the connector and pull hard to get it out of the battery port. Or if you want to unplug it from the motherboard, you would fold down this black piece of tape over it, and then you would use your fingernails or a pry tool on either side of the white plug, and you would pull that out or wiggle it out of that port to the motherboard. But as goes for all wires and cables in a computer, try your best to not pull on the wires. You could damage them. Just pull close to the plug on each side. Okay, so now that our battery has been at least unplugged, it's safe to proceed deeper into the computer. So here's your fan right here. The heatsink goes in between the fan and the vent, and then down over your CPU right here. To remove your fan, you have these 2 screws, and the fan plugs into the motherboard right here. Now, again, do not pull on these wires, especially. These are very fragile wires. You definitely can pull these out of that plug if you pull too hard. So take the grip on either side of that white plug, use your fingernails or a pry tool, and you'll be able to easily get that out of the motherboard right there. Now, as a side note, I will have a fan replacement option below in that link I told you about, with all the replacement and upgrade parts for this specific model computer if you're looking to replace your fan. If you're here not to replace the fan, but if you're here for an overheating issue, maybe you're trying to reapply thermal paste, you would undo these 4 screws. That would take your heatsink up from off of your CPU, and then you can reapply thermal paste. Now, I will have a video tutorial below in the description. It'll be a link showing you how you can correctly apply thermal paste. You definitely want to clean all the old stuff off. You don't want to put new paste on top of old paste, and you don't want to put too much thermal paste down. If you put too much, it can actually lock heat in rather than facilitate its transport out of the computer. So there will be a video tutorial link showing you how to do that below if you would like it. Also, keep in mind, not all thermal paste is created equal. The cheap stuff is cheap, and the more expensive stuff will do a better job moving heat out. So below in that link with all the tools and supplies for computer repair, I will have a couple different options of thermal paste. One will be on the cheaper, more budget-friendly end. One will be more expensive and will do a better job. But that's the end of this video. That's how you get inside the Dell Vostro and access your fan heatsink assembly. Thanks again so much for watching. Please remember to like and share if this helped you out, if you think it can help someone else out. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoy DIY computer content like this, or if you just want to keep me on hand to answer any of your future computer questions. I do try to answer all questions throughout my channel at least a couple times a day. Also, feel free to check out the related links section below in the description. From time to time, I do try to add things in there that I think will help you with your general computer life, make it more productive, more enjoyable. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I look forward to seeing you on my next video.